Foreknowledge of God. Now we will continue with the remaining verses. The next verse is from chapter 47 of Quran, verse 31. First Arabic. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّابِرِينَ وَنَبْلُوَ أَخْبَارَكُمْ. Translation. First by Pickthall. And verily we shall try you till we know those of you who strive hard for the cause of Allah and the steadfast, and till we test your record. Now, in modern English, it states, and we will certainly test you until we know those of you who strive hard for the cause of Allah and the steadfast, and we shall test your record. Next verse. This verse is from chapter 57 of Quran, verse 25. First Arabic. وَلِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ وَرُسُلَهُ بِالْغَيْبِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Translation. First by Pickthall. Allah may know him who helped him and his messengers, though unseen. Lo, Allah is strong, almighty. Now the translation in modern English. And we did it so that Allah may know him who helps him and his messengers without seeing him. Surely Allah is strong, almighty. We have used Pickthall's translation of these verses because he was not a Muslim by birth, rather a former Christian. So, without adopting any creed, whatever translation of these Arabic sentences into English was appropriate as a living linguist, he did. On the other hand, our traditional scholars do not dare to do this because it negates their ideas regarding the foreknowledge of God. Therefore, while translating the Quranic terms like وَلِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ فَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ, they use the following words, so that Allah will sort and separate. We haven't sorted it out yet, so that Allah may judge. So Allah will judge these people. While the plain translation of these words would have been what Pickthall has done in English. For example, so that Allah may know. We haven't known yet. Allah has not known yet. Allah will surely know. It is also said in this regard that as the words like ya'lama, na'lama, waliya'lama, la ya'lamanna are used to mean to know or to determine, likewise they can also be used to mean to distinguish, to sort out and reveal. If we believe that no word or style of the Quran can be unfamiliar in terms of its meanings, rather it was revealed in words and styles that were well known and familiar to its addressees, then can it be proven from the Prophet's sayings, that is ahadith, or Arab literature, that the words like ya'lama, na'lama, waliya'lama, liya'lamanna were generally or frequently used in other meanings? Now let us look at two more verses from Quran which will be helpful in this regard. The first verse is from chapter 3, verse 179. First Arabic. ما كان الله ليذر المؤمنين على ما أنتم عليه حتى يميز الخبيث من الطيب وما كان الله ليطلعكم على الغيب ولكن الله يجتبي من رسله من يشاء من يشاء فآمنوا بالله ورسله وإن تؤمنوا وتتقوا فلكم أجر عظيم. Translation. First by Picthol. It is not the purpose of Allah to leave you in your present state till He shall separate the wicked from the good. And it is not the purpose of Allah to let you know the unseen. But Allah chooseth of His messengers whom He will to receive knowledge thereof. So believe in Allah and His messengers. If ye believe and ward off evil, yours will be a vast reward. Now the translation in modern English. It is not the purpose of Allah to leave you in your present state till He shall separate the wicked from the good. And it is not the purpose of Allah to let you know the unseen. But Allah chooses from His messengers whom He wills to receive knowledge thereof. So believe in Allah and His messengers. If you believe and fear Allah, you will deserve a great reward. Next verse. This verse is from chapter 8, verse 37. First Arabic. لِيَمِيزَ اللَّهُ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ وَيَجْعَلَ الْخَبِيثَ بَعْدَهُ عَلَى بَعْدٍ فَيَرْكُمَهُ جَمِيعًا فَيَجْعَلَهُ فِي جَهَنَّمَ أُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Translation. First by Picthol. That Allah may separate the wicked from the good. The wicked will He place piece upon piece and heap them all together and consign them unto hell. Such verily are the losers. Now the translation in modern English. That Allah may separate the wicked from the good. The wicked will He place piece upon piece and heap them all together and consign them unto hell. Those are the losers. Please note that in these two verses, Picthol has not translated the word mamayyaz to know, rather separate. If these verses of the Quran are studied carefully, it becomes clear that God has used the word mamayyaz here because He has the ability to know the intentions of human beings, whereas the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, only knew about the outward appearance of those people, and the purpose of God was to reveal their true reality to the companions as well. Therefore, God did not use the word ya'lama, rather used yamiz. While on the other hand, the study of the previously listed verses makes it clear in what sense God used the words ya'lama, na'lama, waliya'lama and laya'lamanna, from which the conclusion can be drawn that in regard to moral or ethical sphere of non-physical being, that is nafs or soul, God does not have this kind of knowledge because He Himself did not want to have this kind of knowledge. This is the wisdom of testing. No one could have imposed this restriction on His power from outside, and according to our opinion, no one should have the right to restrict this power of God. If God willed or wanted, He could also make humans into robots. In that case, everything would be predetermined. In that scenario, humans would have no choice, and then the whole concept of testing would be void or invalid. However, there have been and still are people in this world who believe that the concept of predestination is correct, and they implicitly draw this conclusion in favor of predestination from these verses of the Holy Quran and do not realize that their stance negates the explicit verses of the Holy Quran. It appears they are not aware of or understand the principle of explicit versus implicit. In the end, let me submit that there have always been two different thoughts or perspectives among human beings regarding foreknowledge of God. 1. God always knows every intention of man in the moral realm, and He already knows who will go to the hell and who will go to paradise. But His foreknowledge does not affect the free will of man. Second perspective. If God always knows who will go to hell and who will go to paradise, then His foreknowledge affects free will of man or authority of man. Rather, man does not have any authority regarding the end, that is, destination, and this thing results in the concept of predestination. I will conclude by saying that the real issue is to recognize free will of non-physical being in the moral or ethical realm, and if there is no authority in this realm, then the concept of life as a trial will be totally invalid. Furthermore, the creation of heaven and earth and the essence of man and the concept of morality within him will become absolutely meaningless. Thank you.